Hi, hoping you're having a good day. My name is Minerva, and today I'm gonna talk about some glitches of the mind or some things that our mind make us think about something. Have you ever felt that your mind is playing tricks on you? It can happen. We often assume that our minds are perfect recordings of the past. However, the reality can be that our brain changes some things about about events or about situationships. Today I'm gonna talk about three glitches of the mind that can happen to anyone in the world. The Mandela effect, the deja vu, and the Jamas vu. For decades, these three topics have been debatable for some scientifics or some scientists because and also philosophers because it must be understood how our perception works of the things. Okay, first let's start with a topic that can affect millions of people over the world, the Mandela effect. This happens when a massive group of people shares an identical yet completely incorrect memory of something. The term was coined after thousands of people distinctly remembered that Nelson Mandela had died in prison during the 80s. But he didn't. He was released and then he was became president. How can such a massive error can be explained? Because it was like many people thought of that. Well, some internet theorists suggest an idea that perhaps a parallel universe was crossed with our universe during a quantum experiment, but this sounds like a sci-fi explanation, like of a movie, and it's very unbelievable. But many theorists of internet think about that. However, the scientists they consider it improbable, definitely. Psychologists offer an answer that it's false memories. Human memory can be easily influenced by a suggestion. When a false detail is repeated over and over enough times, and for all people, yes, for many people to around of you, the explanation feels like highly believable, and all of them create a collective illusion. Yes, still, whether our brains are just confused or the reality itself uh, remains debatable. The next one we are going to talk about is the deja vu. In French means never seen. This happens when, I don't know if it happened to you, that sometimes when you walk in a room or you visit or talk to a stranger, you feel like you have did that before, or the stranger seems familiar to you, but it's not. You feel like the exact moment has been lived before by you, but it's not. I'm gonna explain why. In ancient times, it was believed that deja vu was a memory from your past life. Today, the neurological approach must be taken. Neurologists think that it's a temporary delay in your brain processing the things, that your brain accidentally sends you information from your long-term memory, because we have long-term and short-term memory, before it reaches your conscience. So when you actually perceive the moment, you feel like you remember it from the past, but it's just your brain that has like a glitch or was like confused. If deja vu is the sense of familiarity, his brother is the je me vu, that it's never seen in French. This one, it's like imagine you are looking at a word that you have written a thousand of times, like house or apple. You are watching it and suddenly it looks foreign for you, and you forget about the meaning of the word completely. It can happen even with places or people. This phenomenon can be induced quite easily. If you repeat like 60 times in a row the word apple, 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 it's going to look strange for you after you do the repetitions of the word. And the word will lose the meaning between in a time. The explanation of this one is that the brain experiences a brief fatigue, disconnecting the structure of the words from its significance. Je me vu can also happen, how I said before, with places or even faces. You could be sitting in your own living room, and for a second you might feel like an absolute stranger in an unknown house, but it's your house and it's your living room. It feels like a mystery, but it's your brain hitting like a refresh button in your mind a little bit too hard. It's like your mind is processing. It's almost the same as the deja vu. Finally, our minds should be viewed as incredible complex storytelling machines, because the reality is constructed by our brains every second we pass. These phenomena can be just simple neurological errors, or as many theories say, that are glitches in the matrix or are glitches on your mind. But we can be certain about one thing, that you shouldn't always be trust you shouldn't always trust about what you remember, about everything you remember, because it can be an error or it can be a glitch in your mind. And thank you for watching.